Okay, picture this for a second. A crime happens, and the stolen goods, they're sitting in a glass box right in the middle of town square for everyone to see. Investigators know exactly where they are, down to the last serial number, but they can't get them back. They are completely powerless. Now, that sounds like a movie plot, right? Except it's not. It's a real-life crypto paradox, and we're going to break down exactly how this is even possible. So we're talking about 53 million Japanese yen. That's about 135 Ethereum at the time of the theft. And you got to remember, that's not just a number on a screen. For somebody, that is their life savings, their retirement fund, their entire future. And just like that, it vanished into the digital ether. And here is where the story gets really, really weird. The whole point of the blockchain is that it's a public ledger. You know, every single transaction is etched into it forever. So investigators could literally follow the money, step by step, right to the thief's digital front door. The funds are right there. You can see them. We can all see them. But you can't touch them. And that leads us to the huge question we're digging into here. The very transparency that was supposed to make blockchains so trustworthy. What happens when that same feature shows you a crime, plain as day, but gives you absolutely no way to stop it or to get the money back? Now, I want to be crystal clear about something from the get-go. This isn't just one person's sad story. We are treating this as a case study. We're using official documents, police reports, and email records from a 2024 fraud to really understand a massive failure point in our global financial system. So, let's get into the nuts and bolts. How did this crime actually go down? Because understanding the mechanics is absolutely crucial to seeing why getting the money back has been, well, impossible. This wasn't a quick smash and grab. The whole operation ran for 5 months. It started pretty innocently, as these things often do, a simple message on Facebook. But over the next few months, trust was carefully built, leading to 32 separate transfers. Then, come September, poof, the scammer was gone. By October, the police were involved. And this type of scam actually has a name, and it's a pretty grim one: pig butchering. It's disturbingly accurate. The scammer fattens up the victim with fake friendship, with promises of huge profits, all before the butchering, which is when they drain every last cent. And this is what was so brilliant and devious about it. The scammers used legitimate, trusted tools to make everything feel secure. The victim was using MetaMask. I mean, that's one of the most trusted crypto wallets out there. But they were conned into sending their crypto to this fraudulent platform, this fake site. It looked completely real, but it was nothing more than a digital trapdoor. So the crime's been committed, and this is where the investigation gets both fascinating and incredibly frustrating. Because this is crypto, every move the money made left a permanent, unchangeable, digital footprint. So the scammers try to play a little digital shell game. The 135 Ether leaves the victim's wallet, and then it gets bounced around through a whole bunch of other wallets. They're trying to muddy the waters, to throw anyone off their trail. But here's the thing about the blockchain: you can't erase the tracks. And eventually, after all that bouncing around, all the funds landed in one single wallet. And there it is, the smoking gun. Top-tier blockchain forensic firms dug into the data, and their conclusion was unmistakable. The money ended up in a wallet that is controlled by HTX, one of the biggest cryptocurrency exchanges on the planet. This wasn't some random, anonymous wallet. It was sitting inside a major company. So the money isn't lost. It's sitting right there, in that address. It's like knowing the exact bank, the exact vault, and the exact safety deposit box where stolen money is being kept. So the obvious question is, why can't the police just call up HTX and say, hey, freeze that account? Well, the answer to that question is where we hit the first gigantic roadblock. It's something called the jurisdictional void. Investigators started knocking on doors. They went to the financial regulators in all the countries where HTX might have a presence. They go to the Seychelles, where it's supposed to be registered. The answer is, nope, they deregistered here. What about Singapore? Sorry, not regulated by us. The UK, Hong Kong, same story. Jurisdiction denied. It was like chasing a ghost. No single country had the legal authority to force them to do anything. And that's the heart of the problem. This exchange has structured itself to be effectively stateless. By dodging official registration and licenses in any one major country, it can basically sidestep an entire nation's laws and regulations. It makes it almost impossible for any single police force to enforce anything. Now, if that whole jurisdictional mess wasn't bad enough, it gets compounded by a second, equally frustrating problem. This deep contradiction between what the exchange says it will do and what it actually does. So publicly, on paper, HDX says all the right things. In email after email, their support teams send out this same boilerplate response. It says just have the police get in touch with our regulatory department and we will fully cooperate. Sounds great, right? Very professional, standard procedure. And that is precisely what happened. Law enforcement, like the Singapore police force, sent formal inquiries through the proper channels. And remember, this isn't just a random customer complaining. This is a government law enforcement agency making an official request. And what was the response they got from HTX? Nothing. Absolute radio silence. This statement here from the Hong Kong police force just says it all. Months after sending an official request, there was no response whatsoever. That public promise to cooperate, it just turned into a wall of silence. So after all that, where does it leave the investigation today? Well, pretty much at a complete and total standstill, an impasse. It's really the perfect catch-22. The local police in Japan can't do anything because the exchange is stateless, so they have to escalate it to international bodies like Interpol. But when Interpol gets a partner force like the Hong Kong police to reach out, they just get ignored. And all the while, that 53 million yen is just sitting there, in plain sight, a monument to a massive systemic breakdown. And that's really what it all boils down to. We have built this incredible financial system that moves at the speed of light, where value can zap across the planet in a heartbeat. But our laws, our regulations, they're still stuck in the 20th century, drawn on old maps with borders. In this new world where a crime can happen everywhere and nowhere all at once, you have to ask yourself, who is actually responsible for justice?